Hearing the footsteps, the bride covered her head with the veil. Therefore, she failed to see the groom's face was covered in blood. He raised his sword and ran her through. The bride stared at him in disbelief. Before she could understand why, she died completely. Seeing this, the groom broke into a smile, then raised his sword and cut his own neck. The girl was shocked by this crazy plot. Just moments ago, she had died suddenly from staying up late. But a system appeared, claiming there was a way to revive her. It turned out this was an unfinished novel. The male lead was supposed to become an immortal but fell into evil, causing the novel world to collapse. Now the task was to gain the male lead's favorability to fix the novel's plot. The girl originally wanted to refuse, but when she heard the reward was 1 billion, she sat up straight immediately and said she was ready. Meanwhile, the female lead was being forced by her stepsister to marry a powerful demon in her place. She tried to resist, but was slapped by her stepmother. At that moment, the girl traveled into the novel world, feeling a headache coming on. Seeing her pretending to be sick, the stepmother lifted her hand again, but the girl slapped her back hard. Without hesitation, she delivered another heavy slap to the stepsister. Then she turned around, slapping all the maids who came over. Just then, her father gathered a fireball to attack her. The system quickly warned her that he was powerful and hard to fight against. However, the girl arrogantly gave him the middle finger. She rushed forward, pointed at her head and dared him to strike there. If she died, no one would be left to marry in her stepsister's place. Her father scolded her for daring to threaten him, but the girl admitted it openly. She then held out her hand and demanded that he must pay a generous reward. Though furious, her father had to throw the money bag to her. The girl got on the bridal sedan chair contentedly. Soon, she arrived at the demon's cave. The girl lifted the sedan curtain, happening to meet the male lead. However, she tripped over her skirt and fell into his arms, catching sight of an extremely handsome face up close. The girl immediately took out a rose and sweetly called him darling. The man asked in confusion what this meant. She explained it was a greeting from her hometown, and invited him to call her sweetheart. The system suddenly congratulated her, saying the male lead's favorability had increased. Hearing this, the girl thought the strategy task was simply too easy, but the system disagreed. Because there had been 5 previous strategists, and all of them had been killed by the man on the wedding day. At the same time, the man listened to their thoughts, and his eyes were filled with evil. It turned out he had been reborn countless times. Every time, he would encounter a girl trying to approach him and reform him. They always pushed him into dangerous situations, then pretended to help him to gain his favorability. This made the man feel deeply repulsed. He killed them when the task was almost completed, leaving them in endless despair. The man couldn't wait to see the tragic end of this new strategist. However, the girl counted on her fingers and asked the system in disgust. So the male lead has been married 5 times already?